I'm going to show you a very cool extension by Sacefe for Genially, which allows you to create a point-and-click type adventure game or escape room. So here's my example. It's based on the mystery breakout, as you can see. So the design, I haven't done much to it, but I'll show you what happens. Okay, so we've got 4 different places we can go to. Here I can't go past because there's a dog on the road. Then go here, I've got a phone, but I haven't got any money to make a call. So then I go down the street and there I find a coin, so I can pick it up and put it in my inventory. So whenever I go on any other page now, so let's go back for example to the dog, same page was there before, but now I've got a coin in my pocket. So now when I go to the phone and I've got the coin, so I can click on the coin and now I can take off the receiver. Now I just need to find the meat. So if I go back home, go to the meat, and there's just a giant pork chop lying around on the street. So I click on that and it appears in my inventory. So now when I go to any other page, for example here the phone, I still got the coin and the meat. And now I can go to the dog. I can give the dog the meat and the dog goes to sleep. And now I've solved all my puzzles here. The items do not disappear from the inventory even after you use them, so you can only add them, but you can't really take them back out again. Well, you probably could, but it would make the whole activity slightly more complicated. Before I start explaining how to make a game like this, I'd like to explain that this is actually based on 2 different extensions that are used together here. One of them normally is quite simple, namely it's an on-off switch. So in this case here I've got my switch, light is off, when I press it the light goes on. And this extension is used to pick up the items. So really what happens is the item on the floor disappears and the item in the inventory appears. It is then used in combination with another extension that keeps track of all my different items and knows at what point they have been added to the inventory. So it keeps track of the status. And that's why we need 3 different templates here, really. One for the keeping track of the events, and then 2 for turning items on and off. Before we get started, I will show what you need for this. So in this case, I want to show you how to make a game where you pick up 2 items for 2 different events. So I want to pick up my coin, which I can use on the phone. So I've got a phone before and after picture. I also want to pick up the meat to make the dog go to sleep. So I've got the dog before and after. And I've just put all these pictures on here so I can make more copies of it. And then at the end I can delete them. I've also got my presentation. So in this case it's using a Genially template, the mystery breakout, and it needs the title page. This needs to be the page where the players all start, and every time you play test it, you also need to start from this page because this will reset the whole game. Then I need what's called the summary page, which is normally the one from which you get to all the different locations, so your map or your list of places. Then I also got all my game pages where I can pick up items, use items and so on. At the moment I don't think you can pick up 2 items on the same page, or at least it will make it more complicated. So I would keep each item to a separate slide and also the events to a separate slide. And I need my templates. So at the end here I've got 3 templates for my picking up items and for keeping track of what's going on. In this case, because I've got 2 items that I want to pick up, I need to actually make a copy of the 3 template pages. So I just select them and duplicate them, and I put them together, and then I need to do a little bit of renaming and renumbering. So first, when you start, you need to decide what your elements are called. So in this case I've got 2 elements, namely a coin and meat. So in example it's called key, but I want to change key to coin. So on 4 different pages, I need to change it to coin. So on this page, this one is fine, and in 4 different places I changed it to coin. On the second lot, I want to change everything to meat. So again, rename everything. Okay, because this is my second element, I also need to change the numbering. So the first one was 0. With this extension, everything always starts with 0. So coin is 0, meat will be 1. So wherever I've got a number, I need to change it to 1. So 1 here, and over here it's already on 1, and the other ones don't have any numbers. So that's fine. So now I'm set up, I can get started with copying my elements. So step 2 is the title page. So I need this list here, which says the coin at the beginning of the game needs to be on the ground. And I also need this code element there. So let's stick these 2 on the page so it gets reset at this point. Then on all my pages now, I want to be able to see the coin in my inventory once I've picked it up. So this is what this element is for. That's why it says coin inventory. And it has this group element. So this is what we need to put with our coin in the inventory. So this needs to go on all my pages except for the title page. So let's find my coin and put the coin here. When it is in inventory, I want it to be a bit smaller, so I make this a bit smaller here, and it needs to be grouped with this group element. And I would recommend that you group it so you can still see the numbering of what group says, because once you group it, hopefully you can see it's changed it from group 0 to group X. So every time you duplicate, you group and ungroup, it will change the numbering and will go back to group X. So to see which number it is currently, you need to go on a different page and then come back to this page, and it resets the number. So now you can see it's gone back to group 0. And this is important, so you constantly need to go to another page and back again to just check that the numbering is correct. I would strongly recommend that you don't copy and paste this group here on the same page, because it really messes up the numbering. So if you realize you need another copy of this coin, I would just copy it, go onto an empty page, something that's nothing to do with these numbers, and then ungroup it there and copy it from here. It's much safer than messing around on a page where you've already got a group element, because the number of the group element needs to match my list, because this is the picture of the inventory item, so the coin in the inventory. That's why it needs to match here. Coin in the inventory needs to be number 0, so and it's number 0 down there. And because I want to be able to see the coin in my inventory on all the pages, I need to now copy that whole lot onto all the pages. And it's good to copy and paste. Once you've copied and pasted it, don't move this coin around, so it's on in the same location on all pages. That it won't look weird if it jumps around in your inventory. Okay, so I've done that, and now I could just go back onto all the pages, just make sure that it's still group 0. It's a bit hard to see with these dark backgrounds, but yes, they're all still group 0. That's fine. Okay, so now I want to go to the page where I pick up the coin. So for that, I need a lot of elements. So really, I need all these elements over here and another list as well. So I copy all these onto my page, which is this one, where I want to pick up my coin. And you can see I've already got a bigger version of the coin here, which is the coin basically lying on the ground. So this is what I want to pick up. And then I want to have a smaller version of it appear in my inventory over there. But I actually need another copy of that coin. So let's find another copy of the coin from over here. So I need three pictures of this coin. 2 need to be identical really. So these 2 need to be identical, and then the other one can look different depending on how it is on the floor. So it could be lying down or stretched out or whatever. Okay, so what I want to happen is, so first I've got the coin on the ground, I've got a coin in the inventory list, and I need these green elements. So I want this coin to be the coin on the ground. So I need another group element, and I put it next to it so I can still see it, and group them together. Now I go away from this page and come back again. So now it says group 1. So the group on the coin on the ground here is element 1. So I need to change that 0 there to number 1. The coin in the inventory should still be 0. Just let's check over there. Yes, this still says group 0, so that's correct. Okay, and I want to group this with the red button as well, which means it will disappear once the button is clicked. At the same time, I want the coin in the inventory to appear. So I group this with the green button here. So I use the extra coin I have here, and then I place it on top of the one that's already there, but don't group them together. So one coin is grouped with the green element, one little coin is grouped with a group element. And then I need the click and the button. So the black click is my switch, which turns the coin off and on. The button element is that element that keeps track of the status of the coin. So for that, I've got this list over here. So we've got a list that says coin inventory. So this is linked to this button, which means once this button is activated, it knows that the coin has gone from being on the ground into the inventory, which will then switch all the other pages on so that they show the coin in the inventory as well. So the button and the click 0 need to be grouped, but I want the click 0 element to be a bit bigger, because ideally it should have exactly the same size as the item I'm picking up, because this will be kind of the interactive element that the players will click. So I make it a bit bigger so they definitely hit it when they click on the button, the coin, and then I want to group it back with my button element again. Now I need to put it on top of the item that I want to pick up. So don't group the coin with the black element, just put it on top. Okay, let's try it out. Don't worry that you can still see the black element and the red element there. They will be invisible once I go into presentation mode. So hopefully you can just about see that the coin is behind the black. I click on it. The coin has disappeared there and has appeared over here, which is exactly what we wanted to happen. Now, we also want the coin to have an effect on our phone. So for that, we go over to the last of the 3 templates and copy all this again. Now I'll go to my phone, put this in here. So the function just goes in the corner, and what I want to happen here is if I click the coin, so my coin is going to be the switch, so I group them together. Then I want the phone that's on the hook to turn off, so I group this with the off button, and instead I want the receiver off the hook to appear. So I group this together, and then I can put this on top there. Obviously the graphics here aren't great, but this is just meant to be a quick example. So let's try this out. So I've got my coin in my inventory, so I can click on it, and now the receiver is off the hook. Perfect. Now I can do the same with my meat. So now I go to my template for meat, where I've already changed it to the word meat, and I just copy this element. I don't need to copy that yellow box again because it's the same one that's already on the page. So I don't need another one. I just put the meat on here, which resets it at the beginning of the game, meat on the ground. Then again, I need my list that the meat, actually I need the meat one. So my list with the meat in the inventory and the group element. Let's put this over here. And now I need my meat as it will appear in the inventory. There we go. And the group button. So let's group this together. Okay, so it's messed up the numbering here. So this one is group X and this one is group 1 now. So let's go out and back in again, and hopefully it's sorted it. Yes. So coin still needs to be 0, because if we looked at the list here, coin is 0. Meat says group 1, which is correct, because if you look on this list, it says meat is number 1. So always check your numbers that they match up. And if not, then sometimes it's easier to just delete the whole slide and start again, because sometimes it helps to group and ungroup items or delete them and put them back on again, but it does not always sort out the problems. Okay, so we need the meat list and the actual bit of meat on all my pages where I want it to be visible in the inventory. Okay, and now I also want to be able to pick up the meat, so I need to do the same as with the phone. Okay, so now I need to check that my numbering is correct. So I should have, when I go in and out, so the coin in the inventory still needs to be 0. Yes. The meat in the inventory is 1. So let's check if that is right with our list. So meat in the inventory is 1. Yes. But the meat on the ground now says group 2. So we need to change it in this list here. Meat on ground needs to be number 2. Okay. So now my numbers are correct. Put the meat over here and put the click button on top. Just make sure that it's always at the top layer, otherwise you can't click it. And okay, let's try it out. I need to make sure there are 2 yellow elements in this page. One for picking up the meat and putting it in the inventory, and the other one for the coin appearing as well. And I need 4 of these list elements, 2 for the coins, 2 for the meat. And I need 3 group elements in total, 1 with the meat on the ground, 1 with the meat in the inventory, and 1 with the coin in the inventory. So let's try it out. Pick up the meat here. Then it appears over there. And now if I go to a different page, my meat is still there. Perfect. Now I just need to make the dog go to sleep. So take all these elements. Okay, so this worked.